Welcome back to another bookish video. I'm Sam, and today we're going to talk about winter thriller and horror books. It's an exciting video. Let's just get into it. The first recommendation is going to be Ski Weekend by Rethink Ross. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. This one follows a group of friends as they go up for a ski weekend. Unbeknownst to them, the weather is supposed to turn really foul. On the road up there, there's a lot of people going up the mountain this weekend as well, and the traffic is really bad, so they decide to take a shortcut. And because of the storm, they end up getting trapped on the shortcut, and nobody knows where they're at. It's a very secluded part of the mountain. People start freezing to death, or they wander away to get help and they don't come back. And it is almost a psychological horror in that these teenagers are trapped together in this car trying to survive, and conflicts with the different personalities and trying to survive nature. It's just a really good book. The next recommendation is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This is one of my favorite wintry books, definitely. In this girl is on the way to the hospital where her mother is dying. And if you can hear the lawnmower in the background, I'm so sorry. Philip is cutting the grass. She's on the way to the hospital where her mother is dying, and the weather, again, decides to turn super foul. So she decides to pull over at a rest stop, and while she's there, she notices that there is a girl locked up in the back of one of the vans. So she's trapped in this rest stop with a few characters, and she doesn't know who has kidnapped the girl, who is the bad guy. Oh, this is such a good book. I don't want to spoil anything, just read the book. It is so good. Definitely not how I saw it going. The next recommendation is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. And this book is about a family that is trapped in this ski lodge. As the book title says, everybody in this family has killed somebody, whether by accident or intentionally. People start dying as they're trapped in this ski lodge, and you have to figure out who done it. It's a murder mystery. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a cozy murder mystery though. But yeah, it's a good book. Check it out. The next recommendation, and you might remember this from a previous video, is This Is Where We Talk Things Out by Caitlin Marceau. And again, I hope I'm saying that right. But in this one, there is a mother and daughter who are estranged, and they decide to get together in this secluded winter cabin. And unbeknownst to the daughter, the mother has planned to kind of kidnap her and keep her at this cabin and force her to rekindle this relationship. And it turns horrifying really quick. The next one is also one I've previously recommended. We're going to try this as a contour. This contour is Maybelline Eraser Concealer. We're going to try to use it as a contour. I don't know how it's going to work. Okay, we'll give it a try. I don't have fair hopes for this. So what were we talking about? Near the Bone by Christina Henry. And this book is about abusive relationship between a man and a woman, and they're in a secluded cabin on the top of some mountains. The girl finally decides to escape, and as she's trying to make her way down the mountain, she is stalked by this Sasquatch-like creature. And again, this does have domestic violence, so go into it knowing that, but fabulous, creepy winter horror book. The next recommendation is going to be Wonderland by Zoe Stage. I hope I'm saying that right. In this one, a family moves to a secluded cabin. Are you sensing a theme here? It's in the middle of this forest, and gradually they notice that weird things are going on. The trees seem to be moving closer to the cabin. The father seems to be kind of losing his mind and becoming more dangerous and violent. And there's just a lot going on. This was a really good book. And she's also the author of Baby Teeth, which if you haven't read that, you need to check it out. That's also a good book. Not a winter thriller, but a very good book. The next recommendation is going to be The Shining by Stephen King. If you know, you know. I'm sure you've heard of this book. But if you haven't, it's about an alcoholic father who gets a last-ditch job as the caretaker of this hotel over the winter. And the hotel's going to be shut down. It's just going to be him and his family. And spooky things start happening in this hotel. The boy has psychic abilities, and he's seeing the ghost and things of this hotel and being scared by them. And the father slowly loses his mind, and the poor mom doesn't really know what's going on between her son with his psychic abilities and her husband losing his mind. She's just trapped in this hotel with them for the winter, and it's a really creepy book. Come play with us, Donnie. If you know, you know. Another Stephen King recommendation is Misery, and this is, to me, a very underrated Stephen King book. But in it, this author, I believe in Colorado, is driving in the storm when he loses control of his car and there's an accident, and he's saved, quotation, by a girl who just so happens to be his biggest fan. And when she realizes the manuscript he has with him is going to be killing off her favorite character, she kind of loses her mind and keeps him trapped in her cabin with her until he rewrites the book so the character doesn't die. And like, to keep him there, there's this one scene where she breaks his ankles. So gruesome. But again, the eeriness, the horror of being trapped in this secluded, wintry setting where you can't just leave. You can't just get out of it. You're stuck there with somebody actively trying to hurt you. It's horrifying. The next recommendation is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. And this is a group of women who get selected to participate in a writing retreat by this famous secluded author. Unbeknownst to them, they get trapped there during a snowstorm, and it turns out that the author is using them for her own stories. She gets the stories from the girls as they write them at this retreat, and then they either accept that or she has them killed. And they're trapped there. They can't escape. They start disappearing. It is a really creepy book. And also, two of the girls at this retreat know each other and used to be lovers, and they had a falling out. So you have the drama of that, being stuck with somebody that you actively hate. The next recommendation is going to be The Overnight Guest, and I'm going to absolutely butcher this name, but by Heather Gudenkoff. And it's about a true crime author who retreats to her hometown to write her latest true crime book. And while she's there, there's a snowstorm, and during the snowstorm, somebody comes to the house seeking shelter, and she lets them in. It's a mother and a child. Unbeknownst to her, they are being pursued by this woman's husband. It is twisty and a really good psychological horror. I promise you, you won't see the twist coming until it happens. So definitely go check that out. The last recommendation is going to be Shiver by Allie Reynolds. This is another group of teens, or excuse me, this is a group of friends who decide to have a reunion at a ski lodge, and they get there and the ski lodge is closed. It's abandoned. There's nobody there, and there's no way to get off the mountain because everything's been shut down after they got there. So they're stuck there with each other, and it turns out that when they were teenagers there, somebody died. Somebody has brought them back to this ski lodge to punish the killer. I think winter thriller and horror books are even better than the fall Halloween thriller and horror books, simply because the concept of being trapped in this location where you can't escape, your captor, and if you do, you have to try to survive nature and all of its wintry dangers. And it's just, I feel they have so much going on where it really keeps you guessing in that, are they going to get away from the captor? If they get away from the captor, are they going to be able to survive nature and the elements? Like, what's going to happen? How are they going to survive? Are they going to survive? So yeah, I particularly enjoy winter thriller and horror books. I feel like they do a superb job bringing the horror, especially the secluded locked door type thrillers and horror. Clean this up, do a little brow gel. Alright, so here's the final look. Thank you for watching, and if you like these books, let me know in the comments below. If you have any more winter thriller and horror recommendations, also let me know. So I hope you like this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.